Star Wars fans, coming to you live with another exciting stream today. So today we have the third and final, essentially, match of the European Cup. This is the VR round. This is going to be between Matt Lutz and Matt Harrison Trainer. Matt Harrison Trainer, who's just coming off the Texas Mini Worlds Champions chips. Matt Lutz, who recently just got his team into the finals of this event. So this is going to be an exciting one. Again, this is the VR format, so players can only play common and uncommon cards. So that's no premier cards or premium cards. Sorry, no rares. They are able to play objectives though, so those are not included in that list. However, you are allowed to play virtual cards. Any virtual card is legal, with the exception of the no idea objective. So, and the other thing is, this is a Highlander format. So, for those who don't know what Highlander is, you can only have one of a card in your deck. So, if you're playing a deck like, say, Legend, and you want to play multiple General Leias, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you can't. So this one's going to be exciting. Again, this is against Matt versus Matt. So I'm probably going to refer to them by like MHT and CRG. It looks like they are ready to go. Uh, CRG is going to play on the dark side. MHT is on light side. CRG has elected to go with the map objective. I think that's a good choice. There's a lot of virtual cards in the map objective, so I like that. And let's see what MHT has gone with. Okay, so yeah, it looks like, again, so Ray is the resistance character for MHT. MHT is going with Prophet. Okay, so interesting. Let's see if CRG will start any aliens to reinforce at the audience chamber. Okay, so yep. Han is at the audience chamber. CRG is thinking about what he wants to do. Okay, so yeah, he's coming down with Mara and Ara Singh with her blaster rifle. Okay, not too bad choices. So both players are going with starting interrupts that are not your normal heading for the medical frigate or prepared defenses. CRG starting the normal, I will finish what you started. Bows to the first order, and he's going to go with alert my Star Destroyer. So he can essentially pull the finalizer with bow and flash it to get PV or General Hux. MHT is going with your standard seeking an audience virtual. I must be allowed to speak virtual, and Walkling virtual. Okay, and again, CRG is going to pull the finalizer first. Okay, so this is essentially game 5 of the tournament. Right now, MHT, Bastion, and Silver Glen are currently sitting at 3-1. They are team a German, an Englishman, and a Canadian walk into a bar, and this is against the H-Town crew. Again, a German, an Englishman, and Canadian are up 3-1 in the finals. So CRG, there's a lot of pressure on CRG. He has to go 2-0 against MHT to get to a tiebreaker. So we'll see if that happens. Again, Bastion he won both of his games. Silver Glen and Alex they split one. So again, it's coming down to CRG versus MHT. If MHT wins this game, a German, Canadian, and an Englishman walk into a bar will win. Wow, that is a mouthful. So if you're watching, try saying that 5 times fast. Okay, so CRG has Jakku in his hand, so and he did take the finalizer. So let's see if he does anything else this turn. I can imagine him coming down, possibly with somebody else to the audience chamber to keep MHT from flipping, but at the same time, he's putting out locations where MHT can possibly go down and drain for 2, maybe more. Okay, he had Jakku and the forest, the Starkiller base forest, in his opening hand. So having 2 of the cards that you essentially want to pull in your opening hand is not necessarily a good thing. We know in his 8-card hand he still has the finalizer, though. And he is looking for another Starkiller base site. Now, he does have the majority of his activation out already. So that alone is beneficial for MHT or CRG. Again, I want to thank everybody who is tuning into these European Cup finals this today. Again, this is game 5 of the finals in what is essentially it's a 6-game final event. And again, this is the VR format, so again, you can only play virtual cards, 1 of each card, and no rares whatsoever. No rares and premium cards whatsoever. Okay, so there is the shield control site. And I can see that Bastion is in the chat right now. So clearly he is going to be rooting for MHT. Again, Bastion's doing what he needed to do and winning both of his games. And action is still in CRG's deploy phase. Okay, so CRG is going to come down with Min. So he's going to get a free defensive shield pull, and he's going to decide to go to the Jabba's Palace, the Tatooine Jabba's Palace. Interesting. So we might see him move his characters out so he can start draining for 2 here, but that might cause for an early flip for MHT. And that's exactly what CRG is going to do. He's going to move Mara and Ara out to the Jabba's Palace. And he's just going to... So he's going to draw 2. So he did get his free shield pull. And he just reinforced at the Jabba's Palace site. So next turn he's going to be able to drain for 2 here. But again, he's essentially saying to MHT, go ahead, come down, and release Han. I don't care. Gussie moved by CRG. And let's see, as MHT decides to activate, he's going to pull a farm with I Must Be Allowed to Speak. And let's see if he does come down and decides to free Han this turn. Now, once he does free Han, so on the 0 side, if you're not familiar with this objective, you can't force drain if you're the light side character. And Luke, R2, C3PO, they all come down cheaper at Jabba's Palace sites, so either of these locations they would come down to. But once you're on the 7 side, you immediately retrieve 5. So because he's playing a Han with power 4 or greater, yeah, he would immediately retrieve 5 force. But what he would be able to do is during the control phase, he does an extra ping for each battleground location occupied by Han, Luke, Han, Luke, Leia, Chewie, or Lando. And it doesn't have to be Tatooine. So, like I said earlier, being that CRG is playing map and he's giving away a lot of locations where MHT can come down and do drains of 2 at, those might be, once he flips, you could see him drain for 2 of those locations and get some pings in as well. So that's one of the only downsides of map. And being that decks like No Idea, Legend, stuff like that are really popular, and you're giving away a lot of battlegrounds, map has lost a lot of the playability in the most recent open meta, but in this VR format, it's a pretty good choice because, like I said, you're playing with a lot of virtual cards already. Okay, so MHT is going to just take his time. He pulls his battle plan. So if CRG does want to drain for 2, it would cost him 3 force. Again, he does have the finalizer in his hand, so he could decide to go to space early and just set up the drain at Jakku. And that way he can drain for 2 at Jakku and then 2 on the ground. Or maybe you'll just want to see him start to do drains. Okay, so he does activate, and he is going to drain for 2 at Jabba's Palace. Okay, MHT is going to lose Rendezvous Point from Tatooine from his hand. And Projection of Skywalker from his reserve deck. So, MHT doesn't have a lot of force compared to CRG right now. However, being that like Luke comes down for -2, R2 and C3PO also come down for -2, that really doesn't matter, especially for Luke. You have the possibility of seeing a few Lukes being played in the deck, from Luke Rebel Scout to, well, maybe a Commander Luke. I'm trying to think of what other virtual Lukes are popular right now, outside of Luke Rebel Scout. Okay, so CRG is going to play. He's going to attempt to pull either General Hux or Captain Peavy with the finalizer with Alert My Star Destroyer. They don't look like they're in there, so the finalizer is going to go back to his hand. Interesting that he didn't decide to go and search with the Starkiller base first. Maybe he didn't want to give up a verify, but he ended up doing that anyways. Now, one card again for CRG that you won't see in this matchup that you normally do see Matt play is Imperial Command. It is a rare, so you can't play it. There is no virtual card of it, so again, you won't see that come into play. There's Kylo's command shuttle, and he's coming down with Lieutenant Dofeld. Sorry. Okay, and now he does flip. So because he flipped, CRG's actually now going to need BB-8 or the Resistance Agent on the table to flip him back to retrieve. So he can go and free Han, but he wouldn't get that immediate 5 retrieval unless he has BB-8 or Rey on the table to flip CRG back. And after deploying the shuttle and Lieutenant, he's just going to draw up. So he also gets out FN 2003. While with a first order trooper, may use one force to target opponent's character present to make them hit. He's hit. The target's game text is canceled, and they may not fire. Oh, thank you, Queso, for. Wow, you've signed up for 22 months. That's impressive. But there is no other first order trooper there. I believe he just did it so that way he could flip. Yeah, they have to control 2 battlegrounds, so he just did that to flip. Okay, there's the city outskirts. Ray is the resistance character. So he can pull Jedi if he wants. So I can imagine that was the card that he wanted to pull with Rendezvous Point on Tatooine. However, he probably drew up into it. That's why he lost it to the drain last turn. And CRG saved 3 force, so it's telling me that he's either got a trying to remember, maybe he's got like a you are beaten, a barrier or something along those lines in his hand to mess with what MHT can do this turn. MHT does have 19 cards in his force pile, so he's got a lot of cards to work with. Force pile wise, as well as the 10 cards in his hand. So both players are drawing up to big hands at this point. And if you're CRG, you can almost imagine that you're safe at Jakku. Prophet doesn't play a lot of space, so the command shuttle and the lieutenant are probably safe up there. Now, again, this is MHT we're talking about. And MHT likes to mix it up. He doesn't play the normal type of decks that you would see. A lot of his decks are like, he likes to play QMC. I'm a little surprised to see him on Prophet. Prophet, I don't know if it's his style or not. He just got back into the game I want to say this past year, maybe last year. Okay, so he's going to come down with General Leia. General Leia will allow a use pile pool with I must be allowed to speak. So he's going to come down with General Leia right to that beat squad. He takes a card with his use pile pool. And there's Ray. So Ray's going to flip CRG back. And now he can retrieve the 5 force with the objective. And he'll take another card from his use pile, this time with Ray. So he's essentially deployed 2 cards and got those cards back via use pile pools. That's pretty slick. Now, again, if CRG was to kill that Ray, unless he's playing like Ray with lightsaber in the deck, that's the only Ray MHT can play. Okay, hair is coming down as well, so looks like he is going to try and reinforce into the audience chamber. Okay, there's secret plans. Now, I do believe, yeah, force retrieval with you or be destroyed is immune to secret plans. So that doesn't necessarily. So he won't be able. So MHT will not have to pay to retrieve with the objective here. But in the long run, it's not a bad card to have out, especially because Leia's on the table, Walkling's on the table. And there's another Luke. Luke, the Last Jedi. I forgot all about him. Like, we were just talking about Legend, and I forgot all about the Last Jedi. So Luke comes down. He gets a use power pool, and he's -2 there because of the objective. So normally he's 5, but he comes down for 3. And there's another use power pool. So MHT is using the advantage of the use power pools right off the bat. And CRG is going to pull There Is No Try. Okay, so let's see if CRG decides to grab that Rescue in the Clouds. That would be the only Rescue in the Clouds that CRG can play. However, he's going to use Min to use one. He's going to use one force to place that out of play. MHT deciding on what card he wants to take off the top of his reserve deck. I think if you're CRG or if you're MHT, you do retrieve here. You do flip your objective, mostly so that one, you can start draining on Tatooine. You can start doing your ping damage. Because with going down with Leia to the Tatooine Jabba's palace signifies that you want to get around Coward. And with Rey, Hera, and Luke there, you pretty much have saved. That's pretty substantial to go to. Like, that's going to deter CRG from going down and trying to hit Rey. Now, if Leia does move, he is going to be able to drain for 3. So the damage is going to be pretty even. Okay, so he's going to throw Leia down, and he's not going to flip. Okay, so he's going to save his flip. So he won't be able to drain their next turn. And he's going to take a force drain of 2 and 1 on CRG's next turn. And he draws 1 card. And so he does draw 1 card, and he saves 1 card. Okay, so let's see what CRG is going to do this turn. Okay, so he does start off with his drains. Oh, MHT loses a solo from his deck, so that's one way of getting a second Han onto the table. And there goes another Luke and a Mace Windu. So MHT he just lost 3 what I would say are important characters. Solo is good backup in case the Han virtual is lost. He could get it back with seeking an audience. However, having that solo is a good way. So it is another good way. But what I think are 2 more important characters are the Luke Rebel Scout and Mace Windu. Mace Windu because he can swing twice. He does have some nice immunity. Luke Rebel Scout because he gets those bonuses when he swings his lightsaber. He also causes your opponent to pay 1 to target any of the characters with him. So, but with Luke, the Last Jedi on the table, it's not as painful to lose the Rebel Scout. Okay, CRG is going to attempt to get out a Starkiller base location. He does give a verify over to MHT. Yeah, I mean that is true, Justin. Yeah, he's gonna get those. He should be able to get those 5 cards back next turn once he does flip. He does have to get around Coward right now, but he'll find a. I think he should be able to find a way to get around Coward. He can easily go in front of the characters that CRG has on the table and then move those over to the audience chamber like he did with Leia. So yeah, I think if you're CRG, you kind of want to. You possibly want to spread. Okay, so Thrawn V is came down to the audience chamber. I don't know if I like that move. Oh, Captain Phoebe coming down. So again, CRG realizes that because MHT is playing Prophet, he's probably not going to have any space. So PV is more beneficial on the ground at this point as extra forfeit. Thrawn coming down, though, will allow Hera to add a Battle Destiny at the audience chamber. So, okay, Maudie coming down as well. So, now there is Rebel Leadership Virtual, which is essentially Imperial Command, the same as Imperial Command. So, oh, okay, so Kylo with lightsaber comes down. MHT has the barrier, so Kylo with lightsaber is now barrier. So we won't see a fight here. I think CRG was going to attempt to battle here, swing, and hit the ray so he could flip back. But because of the barrier, we won't see a battle here this turn. Okay, CRG is going to pull a card with Bow to the First Order. Okay, so he does pull a card. Okay, so CRG has gone into his move phase. I think if you're CRG, I don't move really any of those characters into the audience chamber. Um, Maybe the FN Trooper just or Min. Okay, so he's gonna move Mara in. Okay, so that's gonna give him another lightsaber to swing with on his turn. So he still has 3 force to work with. So if he does save those 3 cards, he's definitely has some sort of a trick to work with on MHT's turn. Okay, he does save those 3 cards, so he's got 8 cards in hand, 3 in the force pile. CRG has 10, and he just activates 15. So he'll probably move right into his deploy phase here. does go right into his deploy phase. Both players are pretty even on time. CRG is currently down by 1.5 minutes. Okay, here comes Bays with cannon, so that's an easy way to clear some of those low ability, low defense value characters. And MHT is going to attempt to take force projections. He gives CRG a verify there. And he's going to attempt to pull Seeking an Audience. So he's going to pull a character with Seeking an Audience. So that will allow him to pull 3PO, Chewie, Lando, Leia, or R2. There's a Chewie, so he's got 2 characters now. Yes, this is the first game between these two. If MHT wins, the tournament is over. A German, an Englishman, and a Canadian walking into a bar will win. If CRG wins, we go on to game 2, and CRG would need to win that to force a tiebreaker. Yeah, I was a little surprised to see that as well. Legend is a really, really good deck in this format. Light side as a whole is just really good. So, now one card that might come into play here, and I think it will, is going to be Jedi's Presence to double the power of all those rebels. Now, there's only 2 rebels there right now, but he still has 4 cards to work with. Okay, there's a Lando. Lando comes down. That does give him a free pull. Oh, you're right. Jedi Presence is illegal. It's a rare. I'm so used to open format. Okay, so Lando does give him another use pile pool. So he's up 10 in power. Both players have 2 characters with weapons. He's only got 1 card left in his force pile, so let's see if he does decide a battle here. Okay, MHT's going to try and pull a card with Lando. Okay, there's Anakin's lightsaber. So Anakin's lightsaber going down onto Luke. So now he's got essentially 2 lightsabers there to CRG's 2, but it's at the same time he's got Baze, so Baze should be able to hit PV or Mahdi. Both of those are on the lower end of defense value. And CRG is going to play You Are Beaten. So there is the You Are Beaten that's going to remove Luke from any battles for MHT and CRG's turns. So that will remove 1 lightsaber and a Power 5 guy, but MHT has Weapon Lev to cancel You Are Beaten, so he uses the lost game text to just straight up cancel You Are Beaten. That's pretty nice. Yeah, Seeing a lot of love from you, Weapon Lev, in this format. Okay, so CRG is going to, or MHT is going to battle here. He uses his last force to battle. He's up by 10 power and 2 destiny. I think if you're CRG, you have to hit Ray. So you definitely want to be able to flip back. And again, I think the most important for character for CRG here is Mara. You're going to be losing your Mara. You probably run the Kylo and his lightsaber, so you should be fine there. Okay, Chewie's going to fire at Kylo Ren. He has a 5 for the first Destiny. And a 1 for the second Destiny. I mean, that's still enough to hit. And he puts a interrupt, so CRG will use his I will finish what you started to put a interrupt onto it to cancel that second Destiny. So Kylo is still around for right now. Action goes on to CRG. Now, if he's got like a sniper combo, we could see him go after Luke. But again, I think right now, okay, so he's going to go after Chewie. Interesting. I think he wants to take the dedicated hit, or the guaranteed hit here, essentially. Sniper combo is illegal. So yeah, he takes the guaranteed hit by hitting Chewie. So now MHT has to lose another card. And he loses Ascension Guns. Normally a card we see in WAP, however, it's a pretty good card for profit. Okay, Luke will swing at Kylo, just like the movies. Draws Obi-Wan V, so that's a 1. He needs a 5 or higher to hit Kylo. So he's going to use Hera to cancel and redraw that Destiny. But he draws Rey with lightsaber. There's another 1. And he's got the Jedi Lev to cancel that one. So he's used 2 of his ways of canceling Destinies already. So that way he makes sure that he hits the Kylo Ren. And he draws a third 1. That's 3 1s in a row. And there's a 4. So Kylo's going to be able to stick around. Let's see who Mara swings at now. Now MHT still has base to shoot. Okay, Mara's going to swing at Rey. Draws a 3. He needs a 2 or higher to hit Rey. And he draws a 1. Oh! The 1s are killing everybody today. And he doesn't have the card to cancel and redraw, so looks like that 4 is going to stick. Rey is still alive. Now let's see who Baze will shoot at. Okay, Baze will target PV. And he draws a 6. He draws a 6. And he's got the Lana Dobry combo to keep Phoebe's forfeit at what it normally is. Its printed value. I believe it's a 5. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Worst lightsaber duel ever. Only one character with 3 lightsabers got hit. Okay, MHT is drawing 2 Destiny, so he draws a 5. And a 3. So he draws 8 for Battle Destiny. He's up 38 to 21, and that's before CRG draws his Destiny. And CRG draws a 1 for Destiny. Oof. Ouch. Okay, CRG is down by 9 in attrition, 17 in power. So he's going to lose the PV, but first MHT has to lose. MHT is going to attempt to fire at Mahdi. And that's enough to hit Mahdi. So Mahdi is forfeit 0. So we're going to see we're going to see CRG lose some pretty important characters here, or unless he wants to start peeling cards. Now PV is forfeit 5. So that would bring him down to 12. So he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose the the Thrawn. That would bring him down to 5. I think if to that case, you just peel the 5. And all dark side lost was Baze and Chewie. And again, okay, so he's gonna lose Kylo with lightsaber, and keep Mara around. Okay, so yeah, CRG lost 4 characters in that battle to MHT's 2. And now CRG, again, CRG is going to be able to drain here. So there goes a BB-8 off the top of the reserve deck. And Captain Yatani and a Jedi Mind Trip. Okay. So I think losing the BB-8 kind of hurt. Now, if only CRG had a sniper. Yeah, if CRG would have, yeah, if MHT would have been able to retrieve or hit and then retrieve all the stuff he just lost, oof. Okay, CRG is going to flash that finalizer again, but again, there is no characters that he can grab with it. And he's just going to move Mara back outside. So I think this is a prime turn for MHT to retrieve 5 cards. And again, however, he can't really do it until the deploy phase. So but MHT does have 8 cards in his hand, so he most likely has a character. Should be able to come down with a character, satisfy for coward, and then flip and retrieve. Yeah. I agree, Ketwall, 100%. If MHT has a Nabram it would be really bad for MHT or really bad for CRG. I'm trying to think of like who he would have left in his deck. He's got the Obi-Wan. He also has Ahsoka in his deck. He did have Rey with lightsaber, so but Rey's already at the table. Oh, there's Anakin. So Anakin going down to the Starkiller base to the shield control site. So that now is a drain of. It would be a drain of 2, and there is the flip and the retrieve. So he retrieves the Mind Trick, the Captain Utani, the BB-8, Chewie, and Baze. Okay, so with Anakin going down, I mean, now he can start doing drain of 2. And he can start doing pings of 1 over at the audience chamber as well as a drain. CRG does have imbalance combo, so he's going to make MHT lose 2 cards. Let's see what he's going to lose. I don't think you lose the Bays and the Chewies, so I think you lose off either from your hand or from the reserve deck. Okay, there goes a Padme and an Oda Nestler combo. And he's still in the deploy phase, so maybe if he does have an Abram, he could move some of those guys over or get to some of those drain of 2 sites. Okay, he's going to play Cassian as well to Anakin's site, so now Cassian can cancel a Weapon Destiny or a Battle Destiny. CRG does have 1 more shield pool, so it'll be interesting to see what he is saving his last shield pool for. Okay, we're in MHT's draw phase. He's just going to draw a few cards. It looks like he's going to save. Oh, excuse me. He saves 2. Okay, so both players are at 11 cards. CRG is at 26 cards in his Life Force. MHT is at 21. But it isn't over yet. Okay, CRG is going to go into his turn. He activates, saves 4. Here's some drains from CRG. There goes a Rebel Leadership from the reserve deck. And there goes Mace Windu's lightsaber and a Knights of the Old Republic. That's a card we don't normally see. It's an easy way to pull a lightsaber. You can retrieve Padawans or Episode 1 lightsabers. Again, with this VR format, it's interesting because we don't normally see cards like that. Weapon Lev is seeing a good rebirth. Knights of the Old Republic is seeing some play. Jedi Mind Trick is seeing some play. So cards that we don't normally see in the open format are seeing play in this virtual format. So I like that. So kudos to whoever came up with this idea. Okay, there's the finalizer. So now the finalizer comes down for 9. But again, that's going to add to the drain there. So it'd be a drain of 2. And Isard going down in front of Anakin and Cassian. As well as Phasma. Phasma's going to be able to give him a use power pool with bow to the First Order. He's got 6 cards left in his force pile. See if he comes down with anything else this turn. Okay, there's a shield pool for MHT. He pulls aim high. I don't think there are any first order troopers in CRG's lost pile though. There's goes Kylo Ren coming down as well. Let's see if he has the saber. And however, it doesn't show Phasma's not going to add a Destiny there. Yeah, if he had a Dark Time or like an Imperial Justice, he would be. It would be a lot better. But yeah, Dark Time is what he really needs. Okay, barrier. So that's the second barrier that MHT is used on a Kylo Ren this game. Again, that's the same barrier he has played before. And there's Kylo's lightsaber. So that could have been painful for MHT. However, that barrier was able to save him a battle this turn. Okay, CRG embarks the command shuttle onto the finalizer. And Lieutenant Dolfeld is going to now pilot the finalizer. Yeah, I agree 100%. Blast Star controls would be good. Unfortunately, he can't really start it. He could have gotten it with like a use pile pull. MHT will use his last force to play Escape Pod V, so that way he can grab Hojix. Both players are sitting under a half an hour left on their timers. So MHT will be able to drain and do a ping damage this turn. It's going to cost him 3 to drain, so let's see if he decides to do that. Okay, there is the ping damage. CRG will lose heavy fire zone from his hand. Good for on starships, bad for on the ground, though. And there's a drain of 2 for MHT. CRG will lose. They've shut down the main reactors, and FN2199. Both from his reserve deck. And Ahsoka's coming down, so she will reduce any battle destiny by 1. CRG's got the barrier, so he's going to bury Ahsoka. But MHT has inconsequential barriers, so that way he can get that Ahsoka down. There goes the Imperial barrier to the lost pile. Let's see if MHT has any other characters to come down with. He is up by 2 in the he is up by 2 in power. However, that is before he decides to cancel a destiny with Cassian Andor. Action is on MHT's deploy phase still. He still has 7 cards to work with this turn. Now, both players are doing the same amount of damage right now. However, this is before we go into MHT's battle phase. I would assume he's got another character or something to come down with again in onto that shield control site. Okay, but we're going to see a battle here. So he does initiate. CRG will play Trooper Assault. So Phasma is now immune to attrition. And she is power +2. MHT will grab that. Okay, action is on MHT. Ooh, CRG is going to play You Overestimate Their Chances. So whoever loses, the result is triple battle damage. Oh, wow. So that's going to go lost. Again, yeah, I agree. If CRG has a dark time here, that's bad news. And there's the dark time. Catwall, man from the future, calling it out. So that's going to turn off Anakin, Cassian, and Ahsoka. CRG saving all the interrupts that he needed for the right time. And this is all before he swings the lightsaber. He swings Kylo Ren's lightsaber here. And I think if you're CRG, I think you go after just Cassian. I think you want to get him off the table. Yeah, I agree. Weapon Lev would be good. I do believe it is in his loss pile, though, as he used it earlier this game to cancel You Are Beaten. No, Battle Destinies cannot be modified or canceled unless they are being redrawn. Action is still on MHT, and you got to be thinking if you're MHT, you're surprised that CRG had those 2 cards in his hand. So he's going to play Sense against the Dark Time. So that I think is smart here. He draws a 6, so I mean that's going to get around. So that will cancel the Dark Time. So MHT has to lose 2. He loses dodge. And Jetta's Resilience. Okay, there goes the Sense. So CRG cannot. So the Dark Time is lost, so now Cassian can cancel a Battle of Destiny. And Kylo will fire his lightsaber. So we do know that MHT has his Hojix in his hand, or his Hujix in his hand. So the battle damage isn't going to be. It might not come into play. Okay, so that's enough to hit Cassian. And I believe both both players have to lose a card to the lightsaber. Okay, CRG's going to lose imbalance combo. And MHT will lose Mandalorian Mishap. Okay, now we're moving on to Battle Destiny. That's a 5 for CRG, or for MHT. That brings him up to 19. And being that Cassian is still there, that's going to be canceled. That's normally a 3, so that would be enough to win it for CRG. However, that's going to be canceled by Cassian. Yep. MHT is going to place Padme out of play. So now CRG has to lose 2 cards to Kylo, and then he's going to have he's going to be losing 6 cards on top of it due to you overestimate their chances. So probably going to see Isard go away. Yeah, he only has 1 card left now, as he lost Dengar and laser cannon batteries. The laser cannon batteries was from his hand, though. And action is now still on MHT. We could see him move the Anakin and the Ahsoka. We could also see him move some of the characters out of the audience chamber. Yeah, I think if you're CRG, I think you should have saved that just because you knew he had the Hojix. Yeah, Control or an Alter would have saved CRG there. And he loses Dark Strike from his reserve deck. So MHT will move Luke in front of Mara, Ahsoka, or Mara, Ara Singh, Min, and FN. 2003. He also moves Hera in front, as with Mara there, he gets, and Min there, he gets another Battle Destiny. I think he's gonna keep at least Han and Rey. Oh, he moves Rey out. Okay, so CRG only has 1 card left in his hand, so I really don't think there's much that he's going to be able to do this turn. Unless, of course, that 1 card is a General Hux or a Snoke. That way he can get a use pop pool as well. Okay, and that's going to be MHT's turn. He does save 3 cards in his force pile, signifying that he's got some tricks of his own. Life force totals are 20 to 18 in favor of CRG. However, CRG is down by 5 cards in hand. Again, if MHT ends up winning this game, that will be it. The European Cup will be at its finals. Will be over, and a German, an Englishman, and a Canadian will win. I honestly don't know. Fallen Portal is not a rare, so there is a chance of seeing it. Now, CRG is going to be able to drain for 2 this turn. However, next turn, MHT is going to be doing pings of 1 and 1, so that would be a ping of 2. Not including any drains that he would be possibly doing. Okay, he's going to activate 9. He could activate 16, but he decides to activate 9 to start. And that's all he's going to activate. Interesting. So he does get a drain of 2 out. There goes the Yutani and the Chewy, both from reserve deck. And he's going to play Sniper. So he's going to shoot with Kylo. He's going to target Anakin. Okay, so this is one way of getting rid of that Anakin Skywalker. He draws a 1, General Grievous, so now he needs a 5 or higher. But he draws a 3, so Anakin's going to be sticking around. And again, that was the only card in CRG's hand, so doesn't leave himself with a lot of other options this turn. Okay, he's going to search with the Starkiller base. I mean, she's going to play changing the odds, so he's going to be able to put a interrupt out of play. And he says to put Force Push out of play. So, I mean, that gets rid of a 5 Destiny. It also gets rid of... Yeah, I mean, Rey would have been a better target. However, he would have drew a 4, and she's defense value 4. Okay, so we're going to see him initiate a battle against Rey, Hera, and Luke. Mara's probably going to swing at Rey. And then Aura's going to swing at Luke. Draws a 2. So now he needs a 3 or higher to hit Rey. And he draws a 4, so that's going to be enough to hit Ray. Now, if if MHT had Wisa, that he would have been able to subtract 1, and Ray would not have been hit, but he doesn't. Actually, no, it was a total destiny of 6, so she's defense value 4, so he would have needed other ways. He would have needed a dodge. Okay, so Mara hits Ray. Again, there is a Ray with lightsaber in MHT's hand. Okay, Luke's going to swing at Mara Jade. Draws a 5, so as long as he draws a 1 or higher, Mara's going to be hit here. Yep, he draws a 4. That Rebel barrier, so Mara's going to be hit. See if Aura Singh can shoot and hit Luke here. Draws a 4. He needs a 4 higher to hit Luke. Oh, but Luke's going to cancel that and cause a redraw. And he draws a 2. Oof. So now he needs a 6 or higher. And he draws a 4. So Luke's going to stick around for a little bit. MHT will use Ray's game text before she goes away. Now again, MHT is going to be able to draw 2 cards with Hera, or 2 Destiny with Hera. So, and he's only down in power by 2. MHT draws a 2 for Battle Destiny. Oof. MHT draws a 6 to start. Ooh. And he draws a 1, but he's going to be able to cancel that with Hera. Oh, no, he's going to take Kenobi into hand with Jedi Levitation. And he draws a 4. He would not, again, I'm going to correct myself. He would not have been able to cancel that with Hera. Jedi Levitation wasn't going to be the only way. So he draws 11 for Battle Destiny. CRG has 11 in attrition. That's going to be a few guys. There goes Ray. So CRG's not going to be able to flip back right now. He's going to have to move Kylo or Phasma for him to flip. And CRG's going to have to lose everybody from that site, and Luke is going to be able to stick around for MHT. Yeah, I think if you're a CRG, you got to move Kylo and Phasma at this point. Because you know that MHT has a Ray with lightsaber. You know he has Kenobi in his hand. You don't want to have too much in overflow against Kylo and Phasma, so... Yeah, and it started off with him having only 1 card in his hand, and that 1 card being Sniper. So, missing against Anakin there kind of set him back a lot. And if he would have went and battled against, if he would have swung at Hera, hit Hera, she would have been gone, and then he could have did a little bit more at the Jabba's Palace site. Yeah, and unfortunately for him, he didn't have any way of pooling cards. So, okay, he's gonna stack Interrupt from Lost Pile on. I will finish what you started. So this will increase Kylo's power, and while he's flipped, he can play those cards. Now, while MHT does have 6 cards in his hand, he only has 15 cards left in his life force. CRG currently has 0 cards in hand, but he has 19 cards in his life force. So both players are starting to get low on life force, but again, MHT does have characters in his hand. Like I said, he has a Rey, so correct me if I'm wrong. Because he has Rey and he made Rey his resistance agent, Rey with lightsaber will count, and it would flip CRG back. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, please. Okay, he's gonna stack a You Are Beaten. Okay, yeah, that's where I'm confused. Yeah, so Rey with lightsaber, so will not flip CRG back. So now he's gonna be able to do all the fun tricks that he can with his 7 side. I mean, she's not going to be able to retrieve anything. But right now, MHT is threatening some nice damage. He's threatening drain a 2, 2, and 1 plus pings of a ping of 2. Okay, MHT is going to activate 8, saving 5, so that's indicate of him having coming down with a character with lightsaber. But I think if you're CR, or if you're MHT, you're out damaging your opponent at this point. I think you should overall win the drain race. The only problem is you have to pay where your opponent right now doesn't. I think if you come down with Rey and then move Anakin and Ahsoka over in front of Kylo and Phasma, I think that's the best option for MHT here. Because you possibly are going to get rid of 2 characters there. Okay, yep, he's going to activate the rest of his cards. He has 15 cards in his force pile, so yeah, I think that's what he's going to do this turn. Is he's going to drain and then possibly block that drain at the forest. Okay, CRG is going to lose I Can't Shake Him and Supreme Leader Snoke. I Can't Shake Him from his hand. And he's going to lose Landon Dobreed and a First Order Stormtrooper. It goes Projective Telepathy and Director Orson Krennic. So he lost all those cards from his reserve deck. So whatever the 2 cards are in his hand, he wanted to keep those cards. Okay, he's got 9 cards to work with this turn. I think if you're MHT, I think you could also spread too. Maybe instead of going down, I think because you're winning the drain race, you could possibly just go and put somebody at the village, the Jakku village site, threaten another drain of 2. Because cards in your hand don't really matter at this point. And I'm trying to think of like what other characters CRG has that would be meaningful in a battle. And the only other character I can think of having is like maybe a Kirkanos. Um, he can't play Vader. He can't play the Emperor. He can't play Maul. So he loses all of those. Mara J is already gone. So maybe unless he has like an Erica. Um, there's no other. Maybe a P-59. That's really it. And unfortunately, P-59 isn't. Oh, yeah, Asajj. No, P-59 can. Um, but yeah, maybe a Grievous, maybe yeah, Asajj and Grievous. But again, I mean, against Anakin and Ahsoka, Grievous isn't really going to do much. Asajj could hit Anakin, yeah, but unless he draws really, really high, you're not. Ahsoka's not going to be left there. Um, oh yeah, P-59 can't be played because he's a rare. This is a VR format. Yeah, so Grievous and Asajj are really the only 2 characters I can think of. And you know he's got the Hujiks, so you're not going to cause any overflow. Yeah, there goes Kenobi. Yeah, I think you just leave Anakin and Ahsoka where they are, and that's it. Now, I mean, you could go down, try and swing at Solo and Lando with Asajj, but he still has the seeking an audience, so you could easily get Han or Solo back. Yeah. And I think if you're MHT, you just do exactly what you did. Maybe draw up to yeah, he just drew 1 card and that's it. So he's got 14 left. CRG's got 11. Ugh. Okay, so he stacks a Dark Strike from his lost pile. Again, he's going to be able to drain for 4 here, but MHT has a 6-card hand. So you save the Hujiks and you just ditch the rest. Yeah, I think this is MHT's game at this point. Okay, loses Ray with lightsaber and BB-8. He'll use Walkling to put Walkling out of play to try to retrieve the BB-8, but because CRG's flipped, he can't retrieve. I mean, she realizing that as soon as he did it. CRG will drain at Jakku. There goes a Master Qui-Gon and Baze with his cannon. MHT has 3 cards in hand. CRG has 2. And MHT is up on Life Force by 2. Up there's a General Grand Moff Tarkin going down to in front of Kenobi. Okay, so Tarkin's just going to be able to block that drain. And he's going to move Phasma and Kylo over. So, yeah, he's going to block those 2 drains. Yeah, I could see him landing the Kylo Ren's shuttle, so that way it gives him a little bit more forfeit down with Tarkin. Yeah, and there's no point to keeping Dofeld on there, too. I mean, he's not doing really much. So you land Dofeld, you land the shuttle. Yeah. Gives you a little bit more. I mean, you're still doing a drain of 2 and your ping of 2. So... And CRG will just save 2 cards. He draws a few. He's got 4 cards in his hand now. MHT activates all but 1. Uses Luke to search for a force projection. There isn't any in there, but we check in to see what the destiny is. Okay, CRG has to lose 2 cards. He loses Relentless Pursuit from his hand. So, just on what CRG is playing, I really don't think he put MHT on Prophet. I think he maybe put him on like a QMC, maybe a Legend. Okay, so he loses first strike from his reserve deck. And there goes the General Hux and the Invisible Hand. It Hux from his hand, the Invisible Hand from his reserve deck. So he's down to 6 cards in Life Force right now. Again, this is essentially a winner-take-all. If MHT was to win this, the European Cup would be over with Silver Glen, MHT, and Bastion emerging victorious. If CRG wins, we go on to essentially a second game and a potential a game that would either be, again, with Bastion, MHT, and Silver Gun winning. If MHT was to win, if CRG was to win, we would go to tiebreakers. MHT will drain at the audience chamber as well, causing another point of damage. There goes a Death Trooper off of CRG's reserve deck. And he's going to battle with Kenobi. Okay, so he liked his destiny enough to cause a battle here. Draws a 5. He can add 1 with Kenobi. But there's a close call. The close call will now causes the redraw, so there's nothing left. So CRG draws a 1. Oh. So he saves himself with the close call, and then he draws a 1. So MHT's down by 2. Yeah. I think if you're MHT, you got to keep the Kenobi. So he loses Clash of Sabers from his hand. We know that he has a 5 on the top of his deck, so probably he's going to lose from. Okay, and he'll lose Yoda, Keeper of the Peace, from his hand as well. Okay, and he'll move Anakin and Ahsoka. Now he's giving up. He is giving up a possible drain of 3 there. However, all he has to do is pull the resistance shield, and it would go down to 2. So that would save him 1 force. And he'll move Luke over, move Leia over. So that's going to up the ping by 1. And it gives him another site to drain at. But again, it's the ping that's coming in really nicely. Yeah, I think if you're CRG, I think we haven't seen him decrease, so. And he'll draw his last card up into his hand. So. Okay, CRG is currently sitting at 16 minutes left. MHT is sitting at 7 minutes. CRG will play. They're still coming through. Again, that's the last card in his hand. So. He's got no other cards in his hand. He's got 5 force in his reserve deck. He is going to be able to drain for 2 and at least 2 at the Starkiller base site. But I can almost imagine that CRG or MHT is going to pull his resistance shield, but he doesn't. So he doesn't realize that it's a drain of 3 there. So you got to think that that's a misplay. He loses Jedi Mind Trick, Obi-Wan, and Quite a Mercenary, all from his reserve deck. So he's saving that 1 card, or he's saving 2 cards left in his hand. There goes the Jedi Lightsaber and Rose from his hand. So yeah, Rose wasn't doing really much of anything. So he's now got 8 cards left in his life force. So if he would have played the resistance shield there, he would have been able to mitigate that 1. He would have been able to mitigate that drain by 1. But instead, he saves his last shield pool. Okay, CRG is going to battle against Obi-Wan. Yeah, I like the projective telepathy stack there. That's going to cause that one of the drains to be increased to 5 instead of the normal 3. Okay, CRG's going to draw 5. That brings him up to 12 on power. MHT draws a 5 as well. So he's only down by 1, but again, with Kenobi, he can increase out to 6. So they tie on battle damage, but yep, there goes the Tarkin. So not a good battle for CRG. Yeah, MHT clearly was tracking that destiny there. Okay, he's going to move his characters in front of Ahsoka and Anakin. And I think at this point, though, he has to move. No, he can still leave the shuttle in Dofeld there. No, they're not drawing Destiny, but they still have enough forfeit. So MHT is going to cause a 3-card loss with the objective. And he's going to activate 6 with the. He's going to save 2. Yeah, it's going to cost 5 to drain. So I think you possibly battle with Kenobi and then move. Well, maybe not. I think battling with Kenobi is the right move. Leaving Ahsoka and Anakin there is the right move. You're going to cause 3 force loss here. I mean, you can still... Yeah, you can actually still force drain and battle. But instead he's going to activate those last 2 cards. Interesting. Okay, so he does drain. So there's the 3 loss. And CRG is going to play the projected telepathy. So it's going to be a loss. It's going to cause drain of 2. So CRG is going to go down to 2. And now he can drain another site. That would bring CRG to 1. Yep. Yeah, CRG really can't do anything now. Yeah, this... Gonna call this as a full win for MHT by 8. A 7. Because... Yeah, he's going to be able to drain for 2. Yeah, he can't battle anywhere. There goes the Hujix. There goes Hear Me Baby Hold Together from the reserve deck. He's going to look at the card. His last card. He's in his deploy phase. Yep. And that's it, everybody. So MHT is going to come out victorious in this one. Oh, he can battle with Anakin. That's right. Anakin will allow a free battle here. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you're CRG, I don't think you... Yeah, he's going to cause... Wow, actually, yeah, this is a good play for CRG. Because he had battled, CRG stacked the close call onto his effect. With the objective, MHT would have had to lose 1 or use 1 to draw Battle Destiny. He didn't draw the Destiny. He then loses 2 cards with Kylo Ren, and then there goes Anakin to the attrition as well as the battle damage. But it really doesn't matter. CRG is going to be taking 3 to the objective, so MHT will win by 5. So MHT is going to win this. Let's see. Again, now this means that a German, an Englishman, and a Canadian are up 4 games to 1. Doesn't matter. Congrats, Sebastian. Congrats to Justin and MHT. Well played, you guys. That's it for the European Cup. Thanks everybody who played. Thanks to everybody who watched. Again, Wednesday is a Yet tomorrow we'll have another exciting episode of Hollow Theater. Kendall will be back. I believe he interviewed tournament advocate Chris Schoenthal, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, great showing, everybody. Congrats, and I'm signing off for now, and we'll see everybody later. Take care.